What is going on, Governor? It's Chisgule here, and today we're bringing you a top 9 list looking at the very best 5-5-1-1 legendary commanders. This guide is by very popular request at your demand. If you like Rise of Kingdoms videos where we advise on commanders, you should like and subscribe because we're really passionate about that. We have got a lot of commander guides and rankings on the way. Now, the genesis of this guide comes from my previous video, card up in the top, where we ranked every legendary in a 5-1-1-1 skill configuration. That numbering refers to the number of each of the skills that that commander has in order. So this commander is a 5-5-5-5. To give an example of another commander here, this is a 5-5-3-3 because the first two skills are 5, the next two skills are 3. Now, in this video, we're ranking all of the legendary commanders as if you could bring them to 5-5-1-1. What players generally find themselves in this situation is the low to spend players or players that are entering into the mid game and they are starting to invest more heavily in specific legendaries. So hopefully this guide helps you figure out which legendaries you might want to bring to a 5-5-1-1 state and then maybe not even proceed any further. Let's get rolling first and foremost with the commanders that are disqualified. We think that they do not make the list, and there's a unique reason why, which is that we actually think their second skill is not the one you would want to max initially. It's not the one you would want to max initially. To give examples of two commanders where that's the case, unless you're really passionate about barbarians, I would not advise that you take Cao Cao to 5-5-1-1. In a similar vein, we are going to disqualify the new rock star, Alexander the Great, who I think would be an amazing legendary commander to invest in, but not at 5-5-1-1. We still don't know what this skill does, but this third skill with the march speed and the attack bonus is tremendous. I probably would take this commander to 3 skills and then apply more skill points. For that reason, he is disqualified from the 5-5-1-1 top list. That's not how I would skill him up. Now, there's also some commanders that I just think are no good and do not even belong on the list at all. That includes Mehmed II, because this is a city-hitting commander. You're not really supposed to be hitting cities with partially done commanders. It should be expertise commanders from the very best players, totally maxed out. So I don't think a 5-5-1-1 Mehmed II is all that impressive because a part of his skill allocation is going towards city damage, and you're better off with Yi Seong-Ye, which is a commander we will be talking about in a bit because he does more damage in more situations. In a similar vein, we really don't like Hannibal Barca as a 5-5-1-1. This commander is all about having the expertise skill, which makes it so that his attack does AoE. When you have that, he gets really interesting. Until you have that, not all that excited about this commander. The last skill that is disqualified and we would not recommend for 5-5-1-1 is Cleopatra. You do want to max her second skill. You should not put any universals into this commander. Use her for gathering. That's what she's there for. With all of that fanfare out of the way, let's talk about the honorable mentions. The honorable mentions include Ethelfled. Because although I do think that maxing her first skill, and certainly maxing her second skill would be amazing, you're going to max all her skills because you're getting her from Expedition. Every day I'm maxing it out, right? Right? Get it every day, max it out. You'll get her over the course of 260 days. So she's disqualified from this list because she should be expertise. She should not stop at 5-5-1-1. The other commander that we've not included in this list that might actually be near the very top, I might insert them into like position 2, honestly, in this list, is Constantine. We've disqualified Constantine because he's such an advanced endgame commander that most players do not have him. However, if you are in the endgame, and you can unlock Constantine, I would put him as the number 2 commander for 5-5-1-1, but we've not included him in the list. We've called him an honorable mention. The reason we really like his contributions is because he's doing an attack reduction and damage taken reduction for everybody, and I think that's insane for a murder ball. Card is in the top for what a murder ball is and why you should care about that. All of that said, time for the top 9. Coming in at number 9, we've got our friend Freddy. Freddy's first skill does huge amounts of damage. I think it's like, and gosh, I did this math a long time ago, and now I'm recalling it off the top of my head. I think you would expect an average of like 1,900-ish damage factor from this, given that it has 3 chances to proc and an 80% chance to proc. Very, very powerful, huge amounts of damage, and the heal is nice. People don't value the heal, but healing is tremendous. It gives the units a tremendous amount of stability, and I like it really a lot. That said, I find when I bring Freddy to the battlefield in most configurations, I'm honestly very underwhelmed. I've got him at 5511 almost. I mean, I guess he's 5512, but like, I just have never been truly impressed with my good friend Freddy. Coming in at number 8 for a 5511 configuration is Julius Caesar. We're slowly working on our Caesar. We're almost at the point, actually, where we're going to take him to 5511. The reason we rank him over Freddy is because he has a tremendous amount of staying power by virtue of this damage reduction, which, again, if I did this math a long time ago, but I think you average out like a 19% damage reduction all the time. That's not actually how the skill works, but if you average it out over time, that's roughly what you're getting, and that's really quite good. Paired with the first skill, you're really looking to enable the secondary commander to Julius Caesar to do serious work, and if you can create that configuration, yes, that is strong. Coming in at number 7 is Charles Martel. We really like maxing out the first and second skills on Charles Martel because this second skill is going to increase infantry defense and health by a solid 15% a pop. This looks higher here because we've also got the expertise skill, which is giving 5% defense, 5% health, and the 20% march speed, which is Gangbuster. Martel is another commander that is enabling some other commander to do big damage. You could consider Martel with Sun Tzu or Ulji Mundok. Those are great pairings. You could look at Boudica, another really great pairing. Bring full infantry to that party. The downside of Martel having to be the primary is that is going to take a lot of experience and a lot of stars to get there. From there, I think this is actually a fine commander to have in your garrison. If you've got them at 5511, slap them on your garrison wall and they're good to go, baby. So there's some good utility from this commander, which is a part of the reason they're sitting at number 7. Just above Charles Martel is our good friend El Cid, dropping pretty substantially in ranking from where we put them in the 5111 category. We do really like the first skills, utility, disabling a target. We do really like that they are doing a damage factor of 1,000. It doesn't list an internal cooldown. I think there is one, but I haven't spent the time to actually prove it. And the reason that El Cid is on this list is because if you pair with Herman, you can rock a solid 3-second silence chain, which is actually stupendous. That's really quite powerful. And if you can get a bunch of people to do that, you can really mitigate what a T5 player even can be doing on the battlefield. You're removing their skill attacks for the majority of the time. For those reasons, and because we think El Cid is one of the finer pairings for many things, a great investment overall, particularly for rally, leading, and defense, El Cid is a solid entry in the list at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is Minamoto. Minamoto does solid damage and gains mobility and attack, which we really like. We really value the cavalry tree and the skill tree, so if you're rocking this commander as a primary, they're in really great shape. If you're rocking them as a secondary, that's also really quite exceptional. They're good against barbarians, and you're going to be battling a lot of barbarians, and this last skill is a solid damage booster. Overall, Minamoto is just really solid as a 5511 commander and a great baseline for further investment if you so choose to invest more in this commander. We went all the way to get the expertise skill, which is honestly a thing I would recommend, and is probably one of the cheaper commanders to get the expertise skill on, even though it's not particularly cheap. Coming in at number 4 is a commander that's a little bit harder to obtain, but is another cavalry commander, and that is Saladin. We put Saladin in this position because he offers a good bit more utility than Minamoto, reducing the march speed and healing effectiveness of the target, and also the second skill here is just two gangbusters to overlook. 20% defense and attack and 5% march speed for cavalry is just an overwhelming amount of value. Getting this skill here as well, and the one skill point allocation offers 10% damage reduction from skills and counterattack damage reduction. It seems really quite good. The thing I would advise with this commander is do not go to 5-5-1-1. Go to 5-5 and then eventually another 5 before you unlock this last skill, because you're not using this commander to hit cities, so don't create a situation where your skill points can end up on this skill until you've maxed this out. Saladin is sitting pretty at number 4. We really do like the support tree more than we like the skill tree when paired with the cavalry tree. So Saladin, if you can make him a primary, will be really exceptional. The downside here is that you really don't want to level him up until you've maxed out this third skill as well. All right, my friends, we're coming in to the final commanders here in our top list for 5-5-1-1 commanders. And those final commanders coming in at number 3, we've listed Yi Seong-Gye. Yi Seong-Gye is a great commander to be investing in all around. You get the first skill to 5, and you'll have a solid 1,400 damage factor to, I believe, an upwards of 5 targets. That's correct. And this next skill is really quite exceptional. It boosts the attack of archers by 100%, which is just gangbusters, and restores rage, and my goodness do I love restoring rage. The final point in Destiny is going to elevate skill damage by 20%, so if you pair with another commander that does a lot of skill damage, that seems really, really powerful. For instance, you could bring Boudica, and I know I'm mentioning her a lot because she can pair with just about anybody. She generates rage, she does debuffs, she's doing a lot of things that are really valuable, and she'll appreciate the elevated skill damage. In a similar vein, you can put this commander on your wall and feel pretty decent about it. I will say, however, that, with the advent of sort of free movement on the map, a player that's hitting your city could avoid getting hit by the AoE if they're playing smart. And so while I do think they will be really good on your wall over time as you invest in them beyond 5-5-1-1, it doesn't exactly make them a slam dunk for the wall, which honestly they might have been before free skill movement. Okay, the final 2, my friends. The final 2. There's only so many commanders remaining. Hope we didn't miss one. Coming in at number 2 is Richard I. Richard I, my friends. Coming in at number 2. Why is that? The first skill we've already talked about in my previous video. Exceptional. Healing a ton, reducing the damage of the enemy, which is very powerful as an effect, and reducing their march speed. Your utility here is tremendous. And this reduces your damage, this second skill, by a solid 15% for what you take. All the time. That is very powerful. You also have a counterattack damage bonus, which is tremendous. This is a great commander to use for your city defense. Put them on your garrison wall. When you unlock this skill, you're getting a solid 10% of stats to infantry. This skill is elevating the effectiveness of healing, which is totally fine, making his first skill a little more powerful. Richard I is just a freaking outstanding commander, a great platform for further investment, which is a part of why I think bringing this commander to 5-5-1-1 is really, really great. Excellent commander to be investing in all around. We've used them in the garrison. We've used them as an infantry commander. Right now, we've got them built out for infantry open field combat. This is the build I would use. And we feel really, really powerful with this configuration. Now, I realize there's actually one commander I didn't mention, but I haven't included so far in this list. And we're going to include him in the no category, by the way, which is Charlemagne. Do not make a city hitting commander a 5-5-1-1. It's not It's not a thing. This first skill is super lackluster. It's only presumably made up for in the other skills. I actually really like the second skill, but Charlemagne's a no-go for this list, and also really hard to obtain. No, my friends, coming in at number one as the commander for 5511 is Genghis Khan. He's absolutely bananas, insane, busted good, a tier above everybody else for open field combat if that's a thing that you're investing in. Now, this is a commander you can't get until a good bit further along in the game, but my goodness, is it just insane? We'll just show you. Because it's just absolutely unbelievably insane. And honestly, this gives our good friend Freddy a potential home with a 5511 configuration. I think there's better commanders to pair here, but let me just show you the full power of this insane configuration. By the way, configurations that I like here include Osman, includes Freddy. Man, it's just busted. Here we go. We're going to bring Royal Knights, sending the T5s on the battlefield. First of all, we really like the trees that are available, at least 2 of them. Cavalry and skill is great. This is a commander where you want to rock the skill tree because you are building a rage engine that's completely busted. Using Khan as a primary commander, this reduces the rage of the first skill by 50. It doesn't say that, but normally the rage requirement's 1,000. And the second skill reduces the rage requirement by another 100. So if you can create an insane rage engine, for instance, with Khan Cao Cao, or, so many commanders generate rage. It's possible that, even, Khan with YSG should be a thing. I don't know. Watch what happens after the first skill attack goes off. Boom, look at this rage generation. We're getting our skill attacks again. This is a freaking machine gun. And, bada boom, we're getting our skill attacks again. It is insane how frequently your skill attacks go off with this configuration. It is just completely busted. The reason we really like Freddy as the secondary for what we're doing right here is that Freddy does a lot of raw damage, but to really take advantage of that, you need an enabler. Enablers include commanders like Yi Seong-Ye. If you had the 4th skill on him maxed out, it elevates skill damage by 50%, and because Freddy does so much skill damage, that's really a huge boost. And in this case, you're generating so much rage that Freddy's skill attacks are going so frequently that you're getting a lot of value from the fact that they do high damage but have no utility. Genghis Khan is tremendous for the additional mobility you get on the battlefield with the march speed. Granted, when you're in combat, you go a good bit slower, but that's okay. Let me show you another configuration here while I sing the virtues of this configuration. I would argue, by the way, this is a great platform for further investment because it is entirely possible that Khan with Cao Cao is the very best rallying combo in the game right now. For hitting objectives. The downside is that the subsequent skills on Khan require you to have all cavalry, which, by the way, the 4th skill over here freaking generates more rage. It's insane. You generate so much rage with this commander, and of course we're all about generating rage, but we really do think this is the very best commander in the game if you want to take any one to 5511 and consider your investment done. This is it. The most bang for your buck, in my opinion. It's just so much value and honestly tremendously fun. The downside to this configuration is that you will be a little more squishy compared to other folks on the battlefield. People know at this point to target this combo and to beat it down on the battlefield. So you're going to have to pay attention to what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself getting focused down and in kind of an uncomfortable situation. Let's bring those T5s again. This time we're going to bring in Expertise Osman. And the thing that's so busted about this combo, because again, Khan is enabling rage engines to be broken, and there's commanders like Freddy, commanders like Osman that are begging for rage generation to be through the roof, and that is what you get with Khan. So if we look here at Osman, it's this second skill no, third skill that's totally busted. Every time an active skill is used, you do a damage factor of 400. This is true for the primary commander and for the secondary commander. So if we watch this combat, you're going to see a skill attack followed by that 400 damage factor, followed by the secondary commander skill attack with another 400 damage factor. It is insane how much damage comes through the second that that rage engine gets rolling. Let's watch this thing in action. Let's watch this thing in action. Boom. First skill attack, that 1,900 is the 400 factor. Then that 2,000 is the 400 factor again. Then, boom, there it is again, 1,900, and boom, 1,998. Look at this machine gunning of these skills. It is absolutely insane. This is at 1x speed. This is at 1x speed combat. Completely out of control. Completely, utterly insane and out of control. This is the kind of massive damage rage engine that will be valuable as a tool in your toolkit moving forward in the game, in many capacities, right? Like new commanders will come out that you'll want to break a rage engine. Boom. This is a way you could do it. Very, very, very powerful. And like, there's even some really oddball configurations that you could consider here that we really haven't even talked about. For instance, I know this is like really weird sounding, but you could use Alexander the Great as a secondary. No, that's probably not the best choice, but like you'd be a shielding machine with this, right? You'd be shielding so freaking frequently. I don't know what this skill does, so I can't actually advise here. And I know that this affects infantry, which you wouldn't be bringing, but like there's just some weird stuff you can do when you can generate that much rage. For instance, if you wanted to be a debuffing machine, you could bring Ethelfled. Honestly, that combination with Ethelfled is how you just debuff the heck out of everything. Granted, I think actually Ethelfled should be the primary, and she can be her own rage engine, so there's probably a waste of a rage engine to do it that way. So maybe we can find some better configurations, but I think this is just a platform that is begging to be broken, and as new commanders come out, every single time one comes out, we're going to have to cross-check against Khan's rage engine and say, gosh, is it broken? Is it broken? So there you have it, my friends. The top 9 commanders that we would recommend for a 5-5-1-1 configuration, accounting for the fact that now we're assuming you're a more mid-game player, making your way perhaps to endgame, just looking for a solid legendary investment. If you're in the very, very early game, only some of these choices will be available to you. And once again, Richard I is probably going to be the very top choice in that situation. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments because that means a lot. And until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.